everybody, it's Yvonne and Dexter back here again with Freightbrokerchic, and we have the master trainer with us today again. Yay. And we're going to talk about, I want you to see my shirt, and it is called Bid It, Build It, Book It, and then guess what we do as brokers? We recover it, and recover it. And so when Dexter saw my shirt, he laughed a little bit, but it's true. And my fellow brokers out there can certainly identify with us the pain and the customer sometimes if we have to reach out to you and let you know that a load has to be recovered. And so I asked Dexter to come on and let's talk about this process a little bit, because for new brokers, they're kind of like caught like deer in headlights the first time that happens. And in fact, we had it happen this week with a couple new agents where they had to go out and recover a couple of loads on some really excruciatingly tight, tough lanes. And we did recover one, and we're working on recovering the other. And so I asked him if he would come on and talk about that process, because most people talk about the bidding process. Then they'll talk about the bidding process, and then the booking of the load, but nobody ever really talks about the pain of having to recover a load.
Okay, well, basically at this stage you have a load covered by a carrier, and for whatever reason the carrier informs you that either A, for some reason they're not going to be able to cover the load, and so please take them off of it, or B, it's the day of and your customer calls you and asks you where the truck is, and then you actually call the carrier that you have on the load, and they come up with some asinine reason that they have not been able to pick up. Oh, I forgot to tell you, the truck broke down this morning at the last stop. Oh, the truck's being held up at the last stop getting unloaded, so he's not going to get there what we thought he was. Oh, the driver called me and then said that he had a family emergency, he dropped the load and is going. So there could be a host of reasons why they're not going to actually cover the load that you have covered them on. But the point is that now you got to scramble like mad to make sure that you get another truck in there before the shipping hours of the origin stop. So you're gonna repost it back out on the DAT. You're gonna start calling all your other what I do, I repost it on the DAT. I look at other trucking companies that have moved the same lane or lanes similar in the past and start also giving them calls to see if they have any capacity. Also, usually if you're moving the same load on the same lane a lot, you usually start building up some type of relationships with a bigger carrier base. So you also call them. What were you going to say?
Yeah, just because we had talked about this a little bit, we touched on it, and technically, is it not, I just want to clear this up, is it not the carrier's responsibility to recover that load first? That's what I'm trying to get the new people or the agents to understand, because they are or were under contract to move the load. So now there is an issue, correct?
Right.
So the conversation that you have, let's go back to the conversation you had with the carrier. Mm-hmm. Okay, he's giving you his blah, blah, blah excuse.
Right.
Okay, so, and then you respond with?
Well, the carrier gives you the excuse, and usually I just ask, are you sure you can't pick up the load? And they'll say, I'm sorry, but we can't. So after that, the carrier is basically off the hook. Now you're left with the problem of your customer being upset with you in the next couple of hours if you don't have a truck in there to pick up the load that they've given you. They're expecting you to pick it up today, and they're paying you money for it. Also, if you don't pick up this load, your customer could get mad at you and either slow the amount of freight that they're sending you or stop doing business with you altogether. Cool. So anytime that you're missing a load for a customer, unless you've built up a very good rapport with that customer, they know that it's not in your usual style to actually drop a load, then you could be looking at reduced loads or losing the customer. It's a very serious situation.
Correct.
So
correct.
also,
And that's, I think, excuse me just for interrupting, because again, I know there are new people watching, or maybe someone who's who's thinking about coming into brokering, to understand, and even for some drivers, they don't understand the impact of not only reputation with that customer, the financial fallback. When a load is dropped, like at the drop of a hat like that, I mean, and you can't help it. I mean, if the driver's truck broke down, but just to,
well, sometimes what it really is that the dispatcher or the carrier has actually found a load that's paying even more money, and they call you, they drop your load, and then they put their driver on another load making more money, and they care not about what you might be left with. But yes, that's one of the problems. The driver, let's even just say the driver picks up and delivers the load 2 days late. When those 2 days, the line that he was supposed to deliver the product for goes down. So now your customer, the product's still coming, but because it's 2 days late, their production line went down. So they might have lost tens of thousands of dollars in just 1 day of not being able to produce their product. The driver drops off the load, still expects to get paid for their service, and goes on, but the fallout that they leave behind is immense. They go on and pick up another load and go on another load, but you're still dealing with a customer who is angry at you now for causing his line to go down and questioning whether or not they should use your services in the future, because if you didn't deliver on time on the line going down this time, what's the chances that you'll do it again, or the carriers that you're choosing? You see, when a carrier is late for a broker, it's not the carrier that gets in trouble, it's the broker that gets in trouble. It's a reflection on the broker's service. And so over time, that's why a lot of companies stop wanting to deal with brokers, because they say we promise the moon and stars, but we deliver nothing sometimes. So that's why they rather use an ABC, an asset-based company who has their own trucks and their own drivers, and can hold their drivers a little bit to more accountability than we can, because basically we're hiring for hire. We're hiring carriers to do our job for us, as far as moving the freight, because we don't have any equipment. Very different than an asset-based carrier like Snyder, Swift, JB Hunt. They've got the drivers, they've got the equipment, they've got the tractors. Hey, Harry, go over here and pick this load up, or I'll fire you. Harry gets in the truck and makes sure he's there on time, picks the load up and gets there, while we're dealing with a dispatcher who's dealing with dealing with a driver who might be an owner-operator. Owner-operator might feel one way or the other about it. He might have a girlfriend that he wants to stop in and say hello to, or a friend on the way to your stop or something like that, and already knows he's going to make it late. Or the dispatcher could already know that the driver doesn't have fresh hours, and he's going to take your load to get you out, to get the carrier or the driver out of a remote area, even though he knows that once he picks up the load that he's going to have to go into a 10-hour break, and he's still going to be late. He's still going to be late, but they'll do these type of things to you.
But that's where, and I have to say, one of the things that we do, I can't speak for other agencies, but one of the great things that we do in our agency is we do stay in touch with our
track and trace.
We are sticklers on that. We want to know where that truck is. We want to know what time he is. Did he pick up? We report what was the in and out times. We do that because we are not asset based. But if you develop a system, which we have, it'll work. Is it perfect? No, we can't control an owner operator, but we can build a carrier base that if we do fall into a situation, just like when we had last week, when I fell into a situation, it was a very difficult lane to recover, but we were able to do it. I actually had a carrier who said he could not take the load, but he reached out to another carrier and had that carrier call me about the load we were trying to move. That was just awesome. And so the carrier called and said, hey, so-and-so told me to call you. You got a load moving out of XYZ. Let's talk about it. I mean, that's where what we do. I mean, we wear a lot of hats. We always talk about the hats we wear, but we wear them well. And the training that Dexter teaches us is wearing those hats well, because situations happen. The fires are going to go up, the flames are going to blaze, but we've got to be able to come with the fire department, so to speak.
The water hose.
The water hose. We got to be able to come with the water hose and put the fire out, and that's our job. We are problem solvers for our customers. And so the customer, a lot of times our customers don't even know we've had to recover the load. In many, many cases, there are some a few that if delayed, if he can't get there and he was late picking up his last load, naturally he missed the receipt, the loading time. Naturally, we have to let the customer know that. But if it's just during the day, I can't get there, my last truck, I was late getting it loaded, blah, 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 we're on it. We're on it and trying to get that load recovered for that customer.
Right, and remember, when dealing with your customer, never call your customer with just a problem. If there is a problem, not just call your customer with the problem, but always call your customer with the problem and a solution to the problem. Even if they do go with the solution or don't like the solution, at least they appreciate the point that you took the time out to think of a solution than just coming to them with just only a problem.
Correct. That is awesome. So anything else you wanted to add to all of this? The build it, the bid it, build it, book it, and then recover it. And you do spend a lot more time. I think the t-shirt says it all.
Yeah, you got to bid, you got to get out there, you got to make the sales phone calls to actually get into the bid. Then once you actually get the actual customer past the credit application and make sure that the customer is credit worthy, then they go on and start sending you the actual load tenders to the loads that you bidded on. You start actually covering the loads with carriers that you find off the DAT, and so you got to build the load in the systems and post them out, and then after that is cover, or recover. But the thing about brokering, I want to just make sure everybody understands. One, you need to have your days free.
Correct.
Because the traffic managers are available in the days. If you're trying to work a first shift job or something like that, sometimes you can make it work, sometimes you can't, but you really need to have your days available to be able to make sales phone calls to get to the traffic managers. Two, it is not instant success. Can you make a lot of money from brokering? Yes, you can, but it takes time to build it up. You got to build up your carrier base. You got to build up your customer base. You got to be on the phone calling, making those sales phone calls, getting your name out there. Nobody's just going to call you and offer you freight. Oh my God, I heard you were a freight broker. Please move my freight. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it doesn't
No,
happen.
but you get on the phone, you work the phone, you find that one customer. One customer could be just like winning the lottery.
Absolutely.
One customer. You get into one customer, they might be moving to, they might have a $250 million a year traffic department. And if you just get 5% of that, well, that's $2.5 million a year. And who's not happy with that? So it's just one of those things you have to push yourself. Being a broker is like being in the gym. You're going to get out of it what you put into it. It's building your own company. It's building your own company.
Correct.
Not my company. You're building your own company. Correct. So your company is only going to build as seriously as you take building your company. So just know what you really want to do, and if you get into it, be serious about it. That's all I can say.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys again for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. As I always say, that helps us reach more people. We're not here just to build a YouTube channel. We're here to help you guys. And so thank you for all your comments. Thank you for all of you who made inquiry into the training. The next training is going to be July 27th. 2021. We're already getting inquiries, already getting people saying, yes, I'm going to attend that training. So please get your documents in as soon as possible so we know how much space that we're going to have for the new trainees. Thank you guys again. Everybody, if we don't talk to you, see you. Enjoy your 4th of July holiday. Be safe, and we will see you next time here on Freightbrokerchic. Bye-bye, everybody.